Good morning, everyone. This is Live News in Motion with your host, Gail Dudley. It is Wednesday, y'all, January the 5th, 2022. And it's time for headline news. But first, I just want to wait and see how many of you will come in the room this morning. And when you get in the room, if you would share that link, if you would hit that share button, I would greatly appreciate it. Some of you are tuning in on LinkedIn. I want to say good morning to you. Some of you are tuning in on YouTube. I want to say good morning to you. And others of you are tuning in through Facebook. And I want to say good morning to you. We are streamed live from a platform that we're going to many different directions. And we're so excited about the growth of News in Motion. We're also having those who are tuning in by audio, whether that is Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, whatever that platform is. If you're tuning in live, I want to say good morning. Some of you are watching the replay, and if you're watching the replay, I don't know if it's morning, afternoon, or evening for you, but I just want to say hello and thank you for allowing me to enter and spend a little bit of your day with you. Those of you who are wondering how I am feeling from yesterday, believe me, I am barely hanging on, but I said I can make this happen this morning. And so we're going to keep on going. For those of you wondering about my test coming back from out of the country, my test came back negative. And I'm praising the Lord for a negative test, but something still isn't right. So I don't know if I have the flu, although I did receive the flu shot. And we all know that the vaccinations are just that, vaccination. It does not mean that you will not get the flu or COVID. So I'm doing okay. I'm not as cold as I was. I'm pressing through. And for all of you who have been praying for me, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see who's in the room. Good morning, Riakis. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Kimberly and Katrina and Donita and Jeffrey. Good morning to all of you. If you would do me a favor, hit that share button, invite somebody to come in to see what it is that we're talking about. Katrina says, you look amazing this morning. That necklace is beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, for those who are watching live, they can see the video. And trust me, it's the makeup and everything else I have on to try to get me through this morning. It's a strange feeling. And I was just talking to Kenny Stanley. He's in the virtual green room. And I said, I think I'm just tired. And I said, it's so interesting because I had a great vacation. I was completely relaxed. But he reminded me that traveling back, the passport situation, where my passport is brand new. It's the new one with the U.S., with the United States passport. It's one of a little bit over 1,000. So I had some issues because everybody didn't know or understand or knew that this new passport was coming out. And then flights being delayed and so forth. So maybe I am just tired. Maybe I need a vacation after the vacation. John Gore said, outstanding on the negative test. Some things come with age. Shut up, John Gore, but that is true. Lori saying, happy Wednesday, Kim Edmondson. Good morning, Marion. Good morning. Yes, I do wonder if I'm not exhausted. I had a great time with my daughter, but I do wonder if I'm just exhausted. And that's okay too, because I'm going to work it out. Some of y'all going to be mad, but I decided this morning when my husband said, you really can't do this today? I said, yep, I'm going to knock this out, but I'm going to take tomorrow off and come back on Monday. Here's a little inside information. I was going through some of our notes, and when I looked at the notes, I wasn't due back on January 3rd in the first place. I was due back on January 10th. So you just got 3 extra days, and that's cool. That's all good. That's all good. All right, y'all, we got a lot of news to discuss, and I do have Kenny Stanley back today because there was a lot of you who wanted to ask him questions. And no, he's not a mental health professional. He's not a counselor, but he was a football player and he was a football coach, and he's going to talk about some of the things that happened. So we're going to have him back as well today. So do me a favor, you all. If you're watching live, hit that share button, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube or on Facebook. I would greatly appreciate it. Kim Edmondson said, praise God for the extra days. Listen, Kim, listen. I was like, hey, I wasn't due back on January the 3rd, but here I am. So let's get this baby started. So let's get started. We have Tristan Thompson. I'm just going to report. I'm sure y'all have already heard about it. He had lied to Khloe Kardashian, said he didn't mess around with this woman. The DNA came back that, yes, he is the father. So now he's apologizing. Khloe, please just move on. This has happened to you one too many times. No sense of continuing to take yourself through something like that. That's not worth it. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Please move on. All right, y'all. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York will not be prosecuted in a criminal case involving allegations that he groped a former aide in the executive mansion in 2020. The Albany County District Attorney announced this on yesterday. The decision marked the third time a district attorney has decided not to pursue a case against Mr. Cuomo, making it less likely that the former governor will ever face criminal charges over his treatment of women. I don't know about you, and I'm going to be very careful as I make this comment, but in making this comment, I want to say this. You're not prosecuting. What else is happening here? What else is going on here? And these are things where, as a journalist, I want to dig deeper to find out, well, what happened? Because they were saying this particular case was so airtight that he would be prosecuted, but he's not. He was supposed to stand trial on Friday. So, 3 days before Friday, they decided, nah, we're not going to do this. What else is going on? This is when you start asking the questions, even if they are difficult questions, you would want to know. All right, y'all. The judge is going to hear a case about him today. Federal judge, AP is reporting that a federal judge will hear motions to dismiss sexual abuse complaints against Britain's Prince Andrew. The 38-year-old Virginia, and all I have is her last name, her last initial as G, alleges she was forced to have sex with the prince as part of the Jeffrey Epstein underage sex trafficking ring. So the judge will, federal judge hears motion to dismiss. And that's interesting. Why are we dismissing this? And why aren't we going further with this? BBC News is reporting that Canada reaches a $31 billion, that's with a B deal, to compensate Indigenous children and families harmed by the on-reserve child welfare system. Marks the country's largest class action settlement. Now, many of you have been asking, and I have some information for you. So if you have a pen and pencil, you're going to want to write this down. So many of you have been writing in saying, can we just get a template? Can we get a template to contact and our representatives about what to say? Well, on Patreon, they do have a template, and I'm working on a new one to give to everyone so that you can have that. I think it's so important that you have that. But until that time, between today and tomorrow, it started yesterday, but until today and tomorrow, you can contact the White House directly. So let me give you this information. This is our call to action, voting rights. The White House comment line is now open. It started yesterday and it will close on tomorrow. It is open from 11 a.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m. Eastern time. When you reach a staff member, and you should reach a staff member and not a voicemail, tell them your name and let them know that you are a constituent, and also let them know who are your representatives. So please do your research, y'all. Don't get caught off guard when you're contacting them. Then you want to express that they give a message to President Biden to do everything in his power to help overcome the filibuster and to pass the Freedom to Vote Act. I'll say this again. I want to get your comments also in the comment section. All right, the comment line at the White House is open. It opened yesterday from 11 to 3. It is open today from 11 to 3 p.m. Eastern time, and tomorrow. Okay, y'all, when you reach a staff member, you should not get a voicemail. You should reach a staff member. Listen, do not be nasty. Remember, they got your number. Even if you call in block, they got your number, okay? So you're going to call into them. You're going to give them your name. You're going to be very nice. You're going to be very nice. You're going to give them the name, and then you're going to say, I really would like, as a constituent of, you're going to give your representative's name. Research your representatives. Know who you are speaking of, because they know that too. But at least if you say who represents you, it's going to put you in a better light. I'm just saying. You tell them that information, and then you say, I would like President Joe Biden to do everything in his power to help overcome this filibuster and to pass the Freedom to Vote Act. Again, that's called the Freedom to Vote Act. You also want him to end the filibuster. Now, he can't do it, but he can encourage Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate to do it, to go ahead and make that move. That's what you do. Some of you are saying good morning. Someone say exactly. They got what they wanted, him out of the office. What else is going on? Just y'all just need to pass this. We need to make sure we are contacting them and getting them to pass this. All right. So this is the number. I guess I need to give you the number, right? Here's the number that you want to call. I mean, we don't have a banner for this because I've got the answer from the White House press corps at the last moment to give you this. Yeah, it's so nice to have connections and somebody write you back. But here's the number, 1-888-724-8746. Again, 1-888-724-8746. I'll say it one more time, 1-888-724-8746. 8746. All right. Now, y'all, yesterday I gave y'all some information. Today, the information gets a little bit muckier. Bam. Y'all, make this make sense. Yesterday, I shared from the Washington's Wall Street Journal that the Labor Department's latest employment report to be released Friday is projected to show employers added 405,000 jobs in December. Today, I'm reporting that more than 4.5 million people voluntarily left their jobs in November. Y'all, make this make sense. The Labor Department said on Tuesday. Now, this is up from 4.2 million in October and was the most in the 2 decades that the government has been keeping track. Now, according to data from Indeed.com, there were 12 million job openings in the U.S. at the end of December. Y'all get this, 12 million job openings. The number of open jobs increased by about 1 million from late October when the Labor Department said there were 11 million job openings. Now, New York Times is reporting that much of the discussion about the increase in quitting was referred back to the Great Resignation. Now, that was really focusing on the white-collar workers and the millennials who were reevaluating their priorities in the pandemic. Now, y'all, the job turnover has been concentrated in hospitality and over low-wage sectors. So if this hospitality and low-wage sectors, how are we now with the white collar? Y'all, this is all a mess. I don't think no one knows what's happening here. Employees are saying, I want better wages. So for some workers, the rush to reopen the economy has created a rare opportunity to demand better pay and working conditions. Now, I do have a banner for this, and I want you all to go here and check this out for yourself. You know what I say, never just take my word for it or any journalist's word for it. Go and check this out for yourself. That's the website to check out. Now, y'all, that's the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics to learn more. Y'all, just combing through the first page, and you got to click on all the links to make it make sense. It's like, what is really going on? What is happening? And you can also see the increase of salaries on there as well. It's some fascinating stuff, if I can say stuff, if you don't mind. That's what it looks like. All right, y'all, coronavirus news. You don't want to hear it, but I got to give it. 1 million cases in 24 hours. That happened on yesterday. The U.S. reported more than 1 million COVID-19 cases Monday, far surpassing previous peaks seen last winter and during the summer Delta variant surge. Now, officials are saying that the surge is coming from the new year and the holiday travel. I can say this, the way them airports was packed, I believe it. Yeah, even the Delta Sky Club, people were on the floor. I was like, and people, you had to keep your mask on, but it was so hot in there. And, people were like also eating and drinking. So you took your mask off for those times. Maybe that's where I caught whatever I caught. I don't have any idea. But more than 1 in 100 Americans have tested positive for COVID-19 over the past week. just the past 7 days, 95% of which were caused by the Omicron variant. Now, almost 113,000 patients have been hospitalized with this virus. Around 20,000 are occupying ICU beds, and 26% of the total ICU beds from reporting from hospitals. Now, y'all, the average near 1,250 COVID deaths per day, a figure that has been somewhat steady but is starting to skyrocket. The most recent data outbreak infection suggests fully vaccinated patients accounted for less than 10% of the deaths. Also understand they're now defining fully vaccinated patients as those who have been boosted. There's that. Now, y'all, the Times of Israel News is reporting, yes, I get news from them as well. They're calling this the twin-demic. Y'all just now making up stuff, okay? But that's what they're calling it. So they're rolling that out, the twin-demic. And I researched it, it's true. Now, y'all, with flu on the rise, they're calling it the flu-roma. The flu-roma. Yeah, the Rona. So the flu-rona. So that's what's happening. Now, Israel has seen a spike in the flu cases. If y'all remember here in the U.S. and even around the world, flu cases were down last year. They attribute it to everybody was wearing a mask. Well, now flu was like, oh, Omni, you're not getting ready to mess me up. So the flu's like, we ain't staying silent no more. We coming back with a vengeance. So now you got the flu and the Rona fighting each other. So they getting you together. My gosh, when make somebody make this stop? But this is happening. I'm making light of it. But y'all, this is serious, okay? I don't know what's happening. I'm not a physician. I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. But two infections were found in an unvaccinated pregnant woman. But get this, y'all, she had mild symptoms. So now they're asking that question. Here's an unvaccinated person that had both infections, but she had mild symptoms. I don't know. That don't mean y'all go willy-nilly on us. That was that woman in Israel. Y'all don't know how she eating, how she exercising, how she's living. Y'all don't know. So don't say, oh, it's all right. Y'all stay your butt at home. Just there it is. I almost said the other word. Anyway, some reports suggest that this marked the first case, dual case in the world. But now I don't remember reading this, but they say that the U.S. had a few cases in 2020 of the two. I don't remember that. But that is what it is. Y'all, the Chicago Times and the New York Times are reporting that public schools officials in Chicago canceled classes for Wednesday because there was a clash between the student union, the mayor, and so many other people. They're like, this is unsafe. We keeping our kids at home. Union members had criticized the district's response to the Omicron variant, which has pushed cases in the city to record levels, and said the conditions in the classrooms are unsafe. The Chicago Teachers Union said late Tuesday night that 73% of members who voted in favor of passing in-person instruction. But the mayor, Lori Lightfoot said, no, we ain't about to go back to online schooling. She says it's unacceptable and it's unnecessary. And her administration decided to call off class altogether. She ain't happy because she's like, I told y'all it's not necessary. Just don't do it. But they did it anyway. So they're now in this fight. She goes on to say, and I quote her words, nobody signed up for being a homeschooler at the last minute. Y'all know her head was going too. She a black woman, okay? She a black person. Let me change. She's a black person, okay? I'm trying to be sensitive. I'm learning my rules these days. She's a black person. And I can see her now. Nobody signed up for being a homeschooler at the last minute. Yes, Latrice, teachers unions are, she says teachers unions are thugs. Period. Wow. Mike Nicholson says ER at Mount Carmel looks like the zombie apocalypse and was packed. They told folks it was a 13-hour wait to get beds. Wow. Y'all, this is happening. Now, let me ask y'all a question. because when I was putting this together yesterday, I said, I can't even repeat what you just said, Mike. So if y'all want to know what Mike Nicholson just said back to Latrice Jones, you got to read the thread. I can't repeat it here on the air. You got to and if you're watching by audio, just go to facebook.com/news in motion. Make sure you follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and go to this thread. It stays there. It doesn't go anywhere, and see what he said, because y'all want to see that. But anyway, listen, I was thinking yesterday, when I was between sleeping and freezing and not feeling good and having a headache and all that stuff, I was thinking yesterday, I said, okay, wait a minute. Are we just saying whatever, like bump it? Let's just all go out and party and take our mask off and everybody gets sick? I don't know what's going on right now, but I done fought for 2 years not to get this stuff. I ain't trying to get it now. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. All right, y'all, we got to do what we do because we promised that we would do it. If you're taking a self-test, make sure you are following the directions. Make sure you are washing your hands. Make sure you do not open the packet until they tell you to do so. Now, some packets are now expired. Even with that, you may not be able to use a nurse, a virtual nurse or doctor to help administer the test as you're going through virtually. But they're saying that the expired test, I'm saying this very careful. I'm telling you what I heard. I'm not making it up. That you can still take it without going on online to see, and if it comes back positive, then you want to go and take the test at a doctor's office or at a pharmacy or so forth. But take a look at this.
Hi, my name is Keisha. If you have COVID-19 symptoms or think you've been exposed to someone with COVID-19, you should get a COVID-19 test. This applies even if you are vaccinated. Using a self-test or home or at-home test can be a quick way to get results. You can use the self-test anywhere to find out if you have COVID-19. You can buy self-tests at a pharmacy or other retail store, and some self-tests are available without a prescription. Here are some tips on COVID-19 self-tests. Follow instructions for storing the test until you are ready to use. When you are ready to use the test, check the expiration date and kit components. Don't use expired tests or components that are damaged. Disinfect the surface where you will complete the test and wash your hands. Follow the instructions to collect your specimen, perform the test, and wait for the result. Throw away the collection swab once finished. Don't reuse test devices or other components. Disinfect the surfaces where you completed the test and wash your hands. Remember, even if you are fully vaccinated, CDC recommends that you get a COVID-19 test if you have COVID-19 symptoms or think you've been exposed to someone with COVID-19. Thanks for doing your part to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. For more information, visit cdc.gov/coronavirus.
So yes, please. Now, see, Mike put that on there. Make sure your self-test is not has not expired. What I heard, and again, I can only share this, you will not be able to do the online if it's expired, but if it's expired 2 or 3 days after the date, you can do it on your own. And if that comes up positive, then you go. So do what's best for you. And y'all make sure you are doing your part. If you haven't been vaccinated, please talk with your physician, talk with someone, do some research. Make sure you're researching vetted sites. I told you I was going to talk about vetting today, but I'm going to wait and do that on next week because I just could not. I was slept most of the day yesterday. And they say I'm negative, and I'm glad, so it must be something else. But I wasn't able to pull all that together to give you sound information. But make sure you vet the articles. Make sure you are checking and make sure they are not false sites or fake sites or anything like that. But let's do our part there. I see a lot of y'all in here, and that's good. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. Bam. Pastor Antoinette, I'm glad to see you on here. Y'all, this is from NBC Washington News reporting. Hundreds of drivers were stuck on a 50-mile stretch of Interstate 95 in Virginia in below freezing temperatures for more than 24 hours yesterday. They're saying many passengers with no food or water. The traffic pileup was caused after multiple trucks crashed during a major winter storm. So they just talk about all of that, and about 300,000 people are without power. I thought it was important to go and dig up some information. And this is coming from the Farmer's Almanac. I want to just read some of these things. These are 10 important things to keep in your car this winter. So I'm sure you probably know most of these, but I'm going to give to you anyway for those of you who may not know or just may need to have this little refresher. A fully charged phone. Do not, because many cars, depending upon the model, the year, when your car dies, it sometimes drain the battery. So you want to make sure your phone is fully charged before you get into your car. And it's also suggested that you have a portable battery that is also fully charged for your phone, so you can contact people. A shovel, sand or kitty litter, a ice scraper is important to have in your car. Blankets, more than one. And they say to store your blankets either in the plastic that you what you do, you vacuum the plastic down to keep it warm, or that you not put them in regular baskets, you put them in cloth cubes or containers so that they will stay warm. And you want to have more than one. A first aid kit, you want to have safety flares or reflective triangle. You also want to have jumper cables. You want to have a flashlight with spare batteries. And they say do not. Now, see, here's where we mess up. The number one thing that drains your cell phone is social media. So you just got to refrain from going on Facebook, doing lives. Hey, I'm out here. You got to understand you're draining your battery. You have no idea how long you're going to be out there. So just have your journal and you record and you post later. Take a couple pictures and you post later. But you want to be careful. That's one of the things that drain your battery. The other thing they say you need are snacks. As you can hear in that reporting that I just gave, people were without food and or water. You want to have protein bars. You want to have peanut butter crackers, cheese crackers. You want to have some pretzels. You want to have of course, you want to have some candy too, because you need to be like, whatever. You want to have some bottled water. And if you're able to put some juice in there, put some juice in there. Just change the juice out of your, what you call that thing? I can't even think. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The cooler. You want to change the cooler, your juice from the cooler. But you want to have things, you want to be well prepared for that. You want to be prepared. Let me see what some of you are saying. Kim is saying she's not a fan of the self-test. Latrice, I'm talking about that part. Lori says, please take care of yourself. Deborah says, this happened to me during a storm in 1983 in New York. She was stuck in her car for 21 hours. Wow. Mike Nicholson said videos. No mayo, no tights. That's right. Listen, those tights is going to mess you up if you out there in the winter. All right, y'all, real quick, and I'm going to bring Kenny on here. I just thought this was interesting. I want to talk about this real quick. Boom. Yeah, y'all, she's auctioning her white hat. Melania Trump announced on Tuesday she is holding an auction of the white hat that she wore during the visit with the French family, the Marcoons, to the White House in 2018. The Trump's office says that some of the proceeds will go towards an initiative that's a part of the former First Lady Be Best program, but it is not clear how much they're donating. There's going to be 3 items. I believe one's also some sort of artwork. The opening bid is $250,000. You can start bidding on January the 11th through January the 25th. Now, bidding will only be accepted via SOL, a form of cryptocurrency. Now, Trump's devaluing in this whole thing, her NFTs and cryptocurrency, which is a non-traditional avenue for former first ladies. Most former first ladies, they donate their stuff to the library, to museums, to the Smithsonian and things like that. Not her. She the first. She's like, she's not donating nothing. Now, here's my problem. You ain't paid for that stuff. We did. We paid for it. Now you can't really make a profit off of it. I just need to see an orange jumpsuit. Now, shout out to CNN. CNN ain't playing around with y'all. Who has continuously reached out seeking clarity numerous times from Trump's spokesperson about the portion of the proceeds. The statement says that they will be donating to fostering the future for Be Best. Fostering whose future? In a statement, they said that's what they're doing. And they said the auction says it will grant opening rounds of scholarships in January 2022. Well, how are you going to offer scholarships and you bidding from January the 11th to January 25th? Make this make sense to me. Now, if y'all want to see them, if y'all want to see the items that are up for bid, you can go to her website. And it's called the Head of State Collection. That's my money. I'm just so done with y'all. Now, if you are wondering what NFT stands for, it's for non-fundable token. Hope I'm saying that right. Which basically means that it's a one-of-a-kind digital asset that belongs to you and you only. No one else has it. The most popular NFTs right now include artwork and music, but it can also include videos and even tweets. So that is happening. So I don't know who's bidding for that, but y'all can go ahead and set that up. Real quick, y'all, Toyota sold the most cars in the U.S. in 2021, the first time since 1931. General Motors hasn't been top U.S. auto seller. So they have been the number one since 1931, but Toyota swooped in and took the title. Shares of Ford are up over 10% after announcing company will nearly double production of the electric F-150. I remember I told y'all about that to meet demand. All right, y'all, I want to bring Kenny in here because there were questions. Hey, Kenny, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, there were questions, and we want to come back to this. I mean, again, Kenny is not a counselor, a mental health professional. He was a football player and a football coach. So, Kenny, we want to go back to visit. What are some of the things that players go through when they lose a game or when the crowd is on them to make certain plays? Tell us from your viewpoint some of the mind games. I know you and I talked one-on-one, but some of the mind games that you go through that could cause somebody to quit or to take off their helmet or to say, I'm done, walk into the locker room or whatever. Speak to that, please.
A lot of it, and I can attest to it because I was a coach. A lot of the pressure comes from our coaches. I remember one of my favorite players ever was Robert Smith. He was a running back for Ohio State. And Robert Smith was about academics. He wanted to be a doctor. And one of the assistant coaches was like, look, you got practice. He said, no, I got class. He said, I'm going to class first. He said, I'm a student first, and then I'm an athlete. Well, coaches were putting so much pressure on him to come to practice, he decided to sit out a whole year. While he was at Ohio State, he sat out a whole season. No, I'm going to school because I'm a student first. A lot of the pressure comes from coaches. And then you have the fans. I can use myself as an example. I was at East High School. We went to go play against Grove City. I knew something was wrong. I got hit. Yeah, I took a serious hit. I did. It was a big one. I'm seeing double. I got an instant headache. Matter of fact, I had a headache for 2-3 days. I know it was a concussion, but nobody was talking about concussion. But because I didn't want to let my coaches down, because I didn't want to let the fans down, I didn't want to let my teammates down, I checked myself back in the game. So there's pressure coming from everywhere. Do I blame Antonio Brown? If he felt he was too injured to play, yeah, he should have sat down. But a lot of players don't do that. A lot of players, no matter what, they're trying to get back in the game because of that pressure.
What are some things that we can do? We only have a couple of minutes. What are some things that we could do as fans to pray for players, whether they're football players, basketball players, baseball players, track runners, sports people in general? What can we do to help lift them up and pray for them, being a sports person yourself?
You have to realize that they're human. We put them on a pedestal, and we do. We put our athletes on a pedestal. That's why so many people was mad at. I can't even think of the Olympic. What's her name?
Simone.
Simone Biles. So many people were mad at Simone Biles because they felt she should have competed. Well, so Simone knew herself. She took herself into accountability. She held herself. She thought about herself. I can't go out here and do these flips, which are dangerous, because she was above board. Everything that she did was above board. Nobody could do it. But she didn't feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, you got to realize these people are human. This is their life. Don't do it. And we have to realize that, hey, you're human. And we don't do that sometimes. We put them up there as infallible. They should be able to do this. They should be able to do that. And, they're athletes. This is what they get paid to do. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, I know it's a different arena, if you will, but even for those of us who are working, I was going through a lot of the timelines on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter where people are saying, I'm just taking a break. I'm tired. I need to sit down. I think many of us, we need to start hearing and knowing our bodies well enough to know when to say when, and understand that we may tick somebody off for saying, no, I'm no good to you if I'm not taking care of myself. So I know you were hit hard many times. You just spoke of one there with against Grove City when you were in high school. What is that like to get yourself back together? And coming from a human, again, you're not a counselor of any sort, but what is that like being a human person, knowing that you took a hit, knowing that it took you several days to get yourself together? What was that like for you? What was the added pressure on you?
Well, you're in a rush to get back. You're in a rush to get back because you don't want to let your teammates down. You don't want to let the coaches down. But the other thing is you start to doubt yourself. And that's what depression sets in. When depression sets in, that's another mental thing that you got to go. I'm hurt, but you're trying to laugh it off because your teammates are looking at you, the coaches are looking at you. Can you do this? Can you do this? And you don't want to let nobody down, so you say yes, knowing that you're affecting yourself. So it's just extra pressure. I can go back to that Grove City game. I told before Coach Georgette died, man, we used to talk all the time, And I told him, I said, after that Grove City game, I don't remember nothing until we got to film day that Monday. I don't remember nothing. After the second quarter, I don't remember none of the game. I know I played. I know I checked myself back in, but I didn't know what I'd done until film day. Once I seen it on film, okay. But that memory's gone. It's gone. So
right.
That's just part of it. So you put extra pressure on yourself trying to get back out there.
Right. Thank you for being vulnerable and jumping back on here today. I know I have you on Mondays, but thank you so much for just hanging out, just to share that little bit, because I think it's important for all of our viewers to understand. And I know I get mad too watching the game. I know Saturday I was like, you know what? I'm about to turn y'all off because y'all are not playing the way I'm wanting y'all to play. And I remember even sending Kenny a text message like, Kenny, what's going on? And then I was in a text message with my siblings and, just processing. It's like, I don't know what they're going through.
No.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what their body or their minds are feeling like. I don't know what any of that is about. So here's my inspirational message for all of you today. Get to know you, the real you. And make a decision and a determination that if you're not feeling well, to give yourself permission to step back. When I say feeling well, if you're like, I'm just exhausted, I'm mentally, emotionally exhausted, give yourself permission to say, I know somebody else may be expecting me or waiting for me or whatever that may be, but I'm giving myself permission to say not today and take that step back. Burnout is real. Burnout is real. Your body gets tired at times. For my mental, and I'm using Simone Biles and her wording, for my mental, back in August when I was like, I can't do this. I got to take a break. Even in December, I got to take a break. Even today, yesterday, it's like I can't even fully understand all the research that I'm doing because I'm freezing. My body's not feeling good. And I have this headache that just won't quit. I know. Well, I know we're here Monday through Thursday, but we're not going to be here Thursday. I'll be back on Monday, God willing. But it's because we got to give ourselves permission to say, you know what? Let me step back. And people, that is okay. That's the message for you today. Go ahead, Kenny. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say something. You talked about the workforce as us, not just athletes. And one of the greatest things I seen happened 3 years ago, and that was when Reverend Dr. Howard John Wesley told his congregation, I need a break. And he took time off. His congregation was upset. A lot of people were upset, but he knew himself. He told everybody, I can be no good to you if I'm not good to myself.
Right.
He said, he said, I'm just standing up here. I can put a sermon together at no time at all. But if I can't hear from God and I can't take care of myself, I can't help y'all. We have to take care of ourselves. And once we realize we got to take care of ourselves, we'll be so much better at it. Monday and Tuesday, that's my time off. On Mondays, I'm going to play golf. Don't call my phone. I drop Kelly and them off at school. I drop them off at work. I'm on the golf course. Don't call me. I'm not answering. Mm-hmm. I'm not. So that's my time. That's my time. You got to take care of yourself. You got to.
Yeah, and those are precious and powerful words at the same time. I think we're so in demand. We allow other people to dictate our schedules. Yeah. And I think that's another reason for the great resignation that's happening right now. Yeah. Excuse me, is that people are saying, you're not even paying me enough to do what it is I'm doing. And you're abusing my time. You're abusing my mental state, my mental capacity. And people are just wanting to breathe. And so in this new year, y'all, I'm asking all of you. This week has been different because I wasn't feeling well, but hey, we got to do what we have to do. But I want to encourage all of you to get in tune with your body, with your mind, body, spirit, and soul. Get in tune. Get to know who you are. I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, your authentic self. Who is you? Who are you? Who are you really? Your authentic self. Do you know who you are? Do you know what makes you tick? Do you know what angers you? How many masks do you wear? And I'm not trying to get into a sermon or anything like this, but this is so important because I think we just keep going because we are doing what other people are demanding or are expecting of us. And we have to give ourselves permission to pause. I don't know if Davy is on here today or not. I don't think I've seen her all week, but listen, she now has a post of 10 things from that she learned from 2021, I believe is how it's. Follow her. And I'm giving her that shout out because two things. One, I believe in the work that she's doing. Not saying I don't believe in the work that others of you are doing. But number two, I've seen her work. I've seen her process. I've had conversation with her and it's powerful stuff. So often we want to jump to the names that we see on international television, national and international television. You could be growing and learning from the person next door to you. And that's a narrative that I myself in News in Motion, because news is noteworthy information, that we want to change that narrative this year. We want to do that. So y'all, again, thank you. Thank you, Kenny, for hanging out with me today, to come back on here. To everyone else, thank you. I'm giving myself permission not to be here tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is January the 6th. That's the first year anniversary of the insurrection. If you want to follow what Speaker Pelosi is doing, please do that. Let me pause. Riakis is saying, I took time off during the holidays from everything because I was becoming burnt out, and it was showing in everything that it is so good and true. Yes. And yes, I will rest well. Thank you, Riakis, for being vulnerable and sharing that. Y'all, it's okay to say, I can't do this right now. I can't do this right now. Lori Wallace says, yes, Davia William Stevenson's work, process, spirit, and ethics are absolutely amazing. Follow her. We must follow her. Mary Jenkinson saying we owe it to ourselves and loved ones to take care of ourselves. Absolutely. Patricia Lyles is saying, but how do you step away from your job? Will your doctor write a mental note? Now you're going to make me stand on here a little bit longer. Listen, if you have to walk away, whether you're taking a sabbatical or whatever, follow your employer's employee policies and standards. You know, there are such things as mental health days. Whatever that looks like, start researching it. Make sure you're talking to the right people, asking the right questions so that you can have that information. And don't be afraid to use your vacation time. Don't be afraid to use your vacation time. There are so many people who are saying, I quit, and they're walking away from stuff because they have not given themselves permission to breathe all along. I don't think we would see a lot of people just throwing in the towel if they had taken time to give themselves permission to say, you know what, I can't do this right now. You know, we run all weekend on the weekend. Just look at how many people are eager to get back to whatever, to things as normal. Listen, y'all, normal is over. It's not happening. Normal is over. So you have to make a determination. What am I going to do for me? And here's the other thing. Be okay with people talking negatively about you. Be okay with that, because they're not in your shoes. They're not looking through your lens to see what's really going on with you. And here's the other thing. You don't have to seek permission from anybody else, and you don't have to have somebody else validate what it is that you're doing. Boom. There's that. Didn't mean to go into all of that, but I just wanted to share that with you. You're important. You know, y'all tune in, and I appreciate your support to see and hear what I have to say and what others are bringing to this forefront. At the same time, you're important. I'm following you. I'm looking at what you're doing. I want to encourage you. That's my calling. That's what I'm here for. Dr. Latrice Washington is saying, let me put this up on the thing. She says, use the EPA for counseling therapy to address mental health concerns. It's free, approximately 6 sessions a year, paid for by the employer. Thank you so much, Dr. Washington, for putting this information in here. And y'all, if you know anybody who needs some assistance, try to connect them with the right people. Dr. John Gore, I didn't elevate you to doctor. John Gore says, take time to take time. That is so important. And Lori is saying, let it roll off your back. They don't know your story, nor can they heal you if you collapse. Now, that right there is powerful. And on that note, y'all, I will be back on Monday, God willing, January the 10th, 2022. Until that time, everybody, stay well. And remember, you know I say make bold moves, but every now and then you just have to make little moves. And that move could be to be still for a moment. I'm out. I'll see you Monday.